Good morning, good afternoon, and evening to all my global brothers and sisters out there. I'm sorry about that. I had a bit of a technical glitch when I started here, so I'm running just a couple of minutes behind time. It's an honour to be back here again hosting this show. Emilio's unable to be here at the moment, so he's off up the Gold Coast of Australia. Having a break, I think. He's been really busy doing his own stuff. God, I've had an amazing week. It's been crazy. What I want to talk about today is basically this emerging energy that we see around the world with all of these groups coming together, people actually joining and making a difference. You know, people see it all over the world, all over the news. You can feel it. It's like this energy that's just being drawn to you. You know, it's like a magnet. Now, I've experienced a lot of very strange things this week. I've been having some very strange dreams. I don't know actually what to make of them. I've been experiencing all sorts of weird feelings. Last night I had, I suppose, what they call the mystic shakes. Last night, lying in my bed with my wife, and it wasn't even cold, but I just started feeling like my whole body was vibrating, and it's a very strange feeling. I just let it go. I went with it, and I had some very, very vivid dreams that night. I can't actually explain. I wouldn't even really be able to put it into words on air, but I think I'm experiencing something I've never experienced before. It's just absolutely amazing how my transition really, I think, has come about. I'm just a normal guy off the street. Never really actually got into the energy fields of the universe, but now I'm actually starting to experience a little bit of that. I really don't know what to make of it. I'm sort of lost for words when it comes to explaining it, because it's an experience I think we all have one time in our lives, and every person's experiences are unique to themselves. So I really want to talk about that. I want people to phone in, and I can see there's a phone holding there. I will get to you very shortly. I've been connecting with all sorts of people around the world via the various means, and you can hear it in people's voices, you can hear it in people's words, you can see what they write, that something is changing, something is happening that's very, very profound and very real. And to many people, they would just shrug it off as being some sort of, oh, I don't know, I'm just being silly. But really, I would say to people, if you get these feelings of, you know, anxiety and fear of something you don't know, don't fear it and don't be anxious of it. Just let yourself get drawn into it, because I tell you that the experiences you have when you do that, and you let your fear go, and you just let love into your heart, and just experience that energy for what it is, you know, beautiful things happen. You know, I've had some amazing experiences with strangers on the street, just amazing experiences. Like, some people's energy levels are just off the chart. And I had a really, really amazing meeting with people I've been talking to online. And when I met them, it's like I met them and I've known them forever. This is what I'm saying. This is what is actually happening to me. I'm connecting again with people. I'm connecting with that energetic force, whatever you want to call that. You know, it really feels like there's a strong connection building in me. And as I say, I can't really put it into words, but you know, as I say, what I'll do today, I want to take some calls from people who have experienced these things. I mean, let's open a dialogue, and I'll pull this caller in. So it's caller 0845. How you going? Are you there?
Hello.
Hey, how you going, mate?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So, where are you hailing from?
Memphis.
Oh, Memphis, very good, very good.
Yes.
So, is there any topics you want to bring up today? Because this is just going to be an open chat. You can bring up any topics you like, really.
I thought it was interesting that you mentioned something. I was just on the phone with my sister before I called in, and she was talking about last night that she had this anxiety going on, and she said she felt like she was shaking. And she said she was trying to explain it, but it sounds as if it was the same experience you had last night. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. It was one of these experiences that I have never in my whole life ever experienced. And I told my wife in the morning, and she was like, "Oh, you must have been cold." But I tell you, I was not. I had no shivering type feelings. It was literally coming from within me. I had no.
I had it last this time. I went through some really weird experiencing, and I had a kind of a shaking when I wasn't cold that I'd never had before. It was like a shaking on the inside.
Yeah, that's exactly what I experienced. And I asked a friend of mine who's really into sort of energetic healing and all that, and he said to me that he knows that to be what they call the mystic shakes. And he said that it's a time in your life where it's like the old you is awakening to the new you. It's like a release of all the negative inside you. But it's the first stage of, I suppose, what would you like to call it? The energy fields coming into you. You know, it's. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it's one of those things that the feelings you have at that moment in time are all the anxieties, all the fears just releasing from you, and to fear that would be like to say that you're grieving your fear from leaving you. So I always say to people, just let it go. Just let it go and just go with it. And, you know, I'm starting to get into meditation and stuff like that. And I've had some very, very strange experiences while I'm doing it. So something's telling me that this is actually building within the universe. We are beginning to come together. And as I was saying to a friend of mine last night, people are actually coming together organically. It's not about the groups that are out there, but it's just about people just realise and actually they're starting to realise that there is a bigger force out there. You know, it's absolutely amazing how things are changing, because we look back in the Mayan prophecies and they call this age the age of revealing. So things are being revealed to us even without our knowing. You know, and I believe that if we fight it and don't embrace it, then I fear that we will end up where we have been for the last 100 years. And I don't want that to happen. I want people to thrive, and I want people to flourish, and I want people to start loving each other again, you know, because we've lost that in this society. And I just believe that it's in everyone's hearts. And I'm actually experiencing it from all sorts of interactions with people now.
I am too. Everything is so different. I'm different. I'm finding new things about myself every day as I deal with myself and interact with others. It's like a whole new person is on the scene. And I'm getting, as well as, other people are, because I'm doing things and saying things that, it's just coming from nowhere or coming from deep within. It's more like my authentic self is showing up.
That's amazing. It's a real sort of awareness, isn't it? It's not like you feel it, but it's just actually you know it. You can feel that. It's like a knowing coming back to you. It's like, as we call this show, the remembering. It's like you're remembering who you are, remembering what those feelings are. Because I think we're so disconnected for so long about how we perceive love to be and how we perceive the your fellow brothers and sisters. How do you interact with them? All of this is changing. All of this is changing before your eyes, and we all like to sort of analyze it and and sort of go, oh, well, that must be just this feeling and that feeling. But really, feelings come to you for a reason. I think every action, every moment in your life, a feeling is appropriate for that moment. And I just feel that this for me is so appropriate and so right for this moment in time that I'm just going to let myself go with it.
Yeah, I'm feeling that surrender as well. It's like I'm not fighting or, I'm just kind of accepting things as they are with myself and with others. I haven't mastered that. I see it coming. I see the change in myself.
Yeah.
And just letting it be, even though I kind of, something came up out of the blue and it was just really crazy on Facebook. I had a little disagreement with someone because they were talking about a child and really being really harsh on a child. And this person's regular friends did not, I noticed none of them commented, but there were other people who came in and commented and, kind of was trying to show her, that this is a child, okay? And she was saying, but this is my opinion. And, and then she took me off her Facebook page, and I was wondering, wow, where did that come from? And what caused me to speak out in defense of this child? And I did not know the child. I was just there because, this is a child.
Yeah.
And that happened. I thought that was strange. She got really mad and stood her little stance and took me off her Facebook page. It was really crazy. I'm like, well, where did that come from? But, I was just there in defense of the child.
Well, I tell you, it doesn't matter what scenario we all seem to be in right now. We get drawn to pain and drawn to suffering because we want them to feel what we're feeling right now. We want them to feel that everything is not as bad as you seem. Everything is beautiful. This planet is a beautiful place with beautiful people on it. And it's just reconnecting to that beauty, reconnecting to that. And
then also allowing the ones that are in the dark and are choosing to be in the dark, let them just stay there if that's their choice.
Well, I think that's a very important point. I think we're living in this age now where people have to make a choice, but you have to respect their choices. I think a lot of people don't do that. I think a lot of people just point the finger and push people in the corner and put the silly hats on the head and give them a label. I just believe now it's time for us to start respecting people's choices and accepting their choice. It's all about respecting, but you've also got to accept their choices. You've got to accept that other people are different. Other people are at different levels of consciousness or different levels of love or whatever. But this is what I believe has been the hiccup in our awakening, is the fact that people perceive as they want to perceive, and that is their choice. That is their choice. Whatever they say or whatever they see you as, they make that judgment because they've seen it in their one sense of sight. They haven't actually looked at the peripheral of like all your senses, and they don't connect. It's just, we don't want to connect with you because you're over there. We're doing this, you're doing that. So this is separation, you see. Separation in society of you and us. And we just need to say that we are just us. We are just one consciousness living cohabiting, coexisting, co-creating on this planet. And that is where I think this is all leading. I think this is coming for everyone. Whether they know it or not, I think that's a very important thing to say.
Right, whether they know it right now at this point or not, it's coming.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is a huge.
What it does. And, stay in your lane. That's what I was thinking. I said, well, I may have gotten out of my lane, but yeah, I get that. She felt like everybody was trying to take her opinion from her. She kept saying, but this is my opinion.
Yeah.
And, people want to do a lot of things that affect other people and say, well, this is my opinion. And they do have a right, So.
can I just say that I think this is when we talk about free will choice. I mean, it extends just further than just saying, "Oh, I respect your decisions" and stuff. It extends further than that, because I asked a friend of mine the other day, "What would you see a free society to look like?" A free society to me would be no limitations and also no expectations, because the expectations people have is like, "Oh, well, what are you going to do?" Well, let's not look at it like that. Let's look at it like what can happen and what will happen if we allow ourselves to embrace this, what I call the energetic sort of change, because that is where creation, that is where all of the things start happening. You know, we live on a planet as a living, breathing organism, but we disconnect with it because we think that, you know, we have rights to this and rights to that. But really, the inalienable rights you have is your birthright. It's your natural right to be and coexist on this planet. So, you know, for anyone else to say that, oh, you know, I'll have to give you permission to do that. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about that, you know, because at the end of the day, permission is just from a hierarchical system that certain people have put in place to disconnect you from that. So it's very strange that a lot of people just take it on their chin and accept, you know. And I just think, well, let's look at this and let's not study it, but just look at this and see how we can progress from this. Because I don't want to be in this time anymore. I want to move to. I've heard the phrase of 5D and all this. I want to move to that new way of life. You know, because 5D to me is a completely different mindset. It's got to be within you to change. You know what I mean? It's not like this stagnated way to do things, and this the law says this and the law says that. You know, we have to embrace this change, and that's really where I am at the moment in my life, and I'm finding it a lot more with connections with people, and with my wife and my child. My child is a beautiful girl. She's only 2, but she's really, really clever. She's really loving, and you know, I really get that. You know, because you see a child is very innocent and knows its love. So it's amazing. I just love it. Yeah.
Me too. I'm looking forward to change.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be beautiful?
Yes. I can see it, and like you said, and I also agree that it's happening whether people know it or not.
Yeah.
I can see it and I can feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraged by that, because there are a lot of changes in my life that I would like to make that I feel that I'm being blocked in because, you know, the way society has things set up.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, discouraging, especially the way we have to get money and what we have to do to get money and corporate America and all that. I'm just,
Well, I really do believe that we are close to a change in our society. I think that people have just really had enough, and I think that everyone is now starting to realise there's something bigger out there, something bigger, and some people aren't even aware of it, but they can just feel it. You know, it's this change that is starting to come into people that they couldn't sit down and explain. But it's just by their actions and by the way they conduct themselves actually makes them realise that actually, hang on a minute, something's changed in me. Something's more than just me, you know. And yeah, I've experienced this for the last sort of 6 months now. I've been experiencing very, very strange experiences. So I'm not really going to even try and explain them. I'm just going to go with them, you know.
Right, just go with them. I was trying to figure it out, and, you know, like when I was having that shaking going on, I really went through something last year, but I got afraid of it. I thought maybe I was sick. Then I, you know, eventually found out, well, you are okay, and I still don't really understand what happened, but something happened to me last year. And it's like all I could do was sleep, get up, go to work, no eating, nothing, and the shaking on the inside and all that. It was some type of transformation. I finally understood that.
Yeah.
Some kind of work being done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was absolutely amazing talking to you, and I think I've got a couple more calls here, so I'll let you go. But it was absolutely beautiful talking to you.
You too. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I need to listen. Thanks.
No worries. Thank you. Well, it's just a very interesting conversation there, because this is something I feel is very, very real, very, very now. As I say, I've had a lot of experiences in the last couple of months, and I just feel if we all can just embrace each other as a oneness in this world. I've heard, like, the One People's Public Trust, okay, they gave us a door. And the door's still quite shut, but we need to open it now. We need to walk through that door. And we need to walk into a new world, new possibilities, and limitless possibilities. We have to make that realization that step is all it will take, is that one step over the threshold of that door. And this world would change within a heartbeat, within a thought. Our thoughts, our processes of thought, and all of this has been suppressed by all the electromagnetic sort of forces around us, like your mobile phones, these electric towers. This is all an inhibitor of our potential. And when I see that, and when I go outside, I don't see anxiety anymore, and I don't see this anger or this fear anymore. I can just feel that people are starting to be aware that there is something far more poignant out there than just life as they say, life as we know it. I'm sorry, but life as we know it, I don't think we have any comprehension of life as we know. We have all these different aspects of it. We have different aspects of culture. We have different aspects of beauty and sereneness. All of this stuff is where we have forgotten how to connect to. But now this change and this awareness and this awakening is coming. People are actually starting to notice a tree and notice a piece of grass. This is the beauty of it. And once you realise that, you're connected to all of that. I'll give the example, when you're walking in a field with bare feet, walking on grass, you're connected to that grass. You're at one with that grass. You touch a tree or you hug a tree. That means that you are actually connected to that tree. And all we need to do is hear that connection. You can hear it when you're outside in the big wide world. When you go and sit on a beach and you hear the waves coming, you just relax and just tune into that. And it's like you can hear what they're saying. It's like you've connected with nature. So nature will say to you, "You're here now. You're back. Where were you all that time?" So I'm experiencing some very strange things when I go out and have a walk and stuff like that. I take my daughter out, and I just feel calm, and I just feel like I've had this great sort of release, because I'm now back out in the world. I'm experiencing life again, And conversations I've had recently to people is they know for what they see on the news and stuff that things are happening, but I don't think they quite understand what it is that is happening. And like all of us, I really think we've all got our own perceived ideas of what's happening. But once you just immerse yourself into that, into that feeling and just connect with it. It just gives you this most amazing euphoric feeling that you've just now sat down and gone, oh. That's what it feels like. It just feels like you're just sitting nice and calm, and everything around you is just vibrant, and you know it's there because you can feel it. It's in your heart, you know. And I just feel that this is another thing that I'm feeling too, is like the connection between like the hearts of people. Because you know, when you talk about people, you talk about they've got a good heart. Well, you don't have to know, you can't see their heart, but you can just see it in that person. You can see the I like this word, but sereneness of them. They're just beautiful people, like my wife. She's a beautiful person, you know. You can just see it. You don't have to look into her heart and go, oh, okay, this is what it looks like, because it's there. It just emanates from your heart, like energy. It just emanates. You know, if you have this love in your heart, it will go to other people. Whether you talk to them or touch them, whatever, they know that that's there. So this is the reconnection I think is really happening. And when we look into that, we're looking at technologies here. We're looking at the human technology, because I believe that we are an amazing technology. Our brains give out electrical signals. Our hearts give out love, and it emanates. It's like an energy coming from you. If you give out this positivity to people and show them that love, and treat them as if they are you, as in a way to say that you are connected as a one entity, then that love just embraces you. It just flows within you. And I just feel that there's a lot of stuff pointing to that now. I know there's a lot of things in the world that maybe at this point in time don't seem like that. But when you take a step back and have a look, you know, you're looking at people crying out for this. They're crying for them to feel that love and that energy. Because people are just tired of the three-dimensional matrix we live in, you know. And I believe that this is the time for everyone to now embracing each other, coming as a one, just coming as, like, the OPP done a beautiful thing. And I will say, I can't thank them guys enough, and especially Heather. Heather has shown us a path. She's laid out the groundwork for us. And I know she said, look, just do and be. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just being myself and doing what I do. And it doesn't take much energy to do that. And this is why I think this transition, if we are going through this change and this transition into something new, I don't think it's going to be as hard for a lot of people as they think. It's just about opening up your heart. Opening up your heart to others and other cultures and other beings, because you know we are inherently loving people. We haven't had that the hate and all of that comes in with the societies we live in. I really believe that the disconnect. It's like, well, you get one group and another group, and that group doesn't like this group, but it's just a social. It's socially inept fear and all that. It is, because there is no way in the world creation would have created anything out of hate or fear. Creation is love. That is the driving force of all creation, and it has to be that, because it couldn't be anything else. It's just ridiculous to think that creation could be manifested out of fear and hate. We have that. We do that ourselves. But the creative forces out there made this universe as a beautiful, loving thing. And for us to think that it's anything else but that, well, I would sort of question that, because I don't believe at any time that creation could be anything else but that. but love. And this is where I think we're now connecting to. We're going back to this original state of being, because we are in this moment of, and I like these terms that the OP use, the moment of now, because it is now. We always talk about the history and the future, but let's concentrate on now and how we can interact right now, right this moment. Right this moment, we're sitting and I'm talking to you and I'm saying the words just off the top of my head. I'm actually just coming out and just saying it and talking from my heart. I haven't got a script, I don't do that, but I want you to feel my words. I want you to feel, because my words are a technology, they're an energy, they're a resonance to people. And I really believe that if I talk from my heart, I talk from the deepest bowels of my heart and give it to you, I'm hoping that, it will reach out and it will inspire some people. But, as I can say, these are my words and my energy I put into this. And I just really hope that people out there can connect. I would love to know within a year from now, when we look at all this and we look back from that year to now, we're going to see a completely different. We're going to see a completely different world. I really believe this. I really believe that the world is changing in so many ways, and so many things are happening that you can't explain. But let's not try and explain it. Let's just, as I say, just embrace it and just go with it, and just create beautiful things. Between people, between interactions between people are creation, because you're creating that connection between people. So, I've got another call. It's 8032. I'll just pull you in.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's a pleasure to actually go ahead and talk to someone that is beyond conscious and does not understand but understands everything.
Thank you very much, brother.
You're more than welcome. And also is a teacher to let men and women know, not persons, individuals, etc., but men and women know that they have inalienable rights, that they can go ahead and anything that is not feeling good inside of your energy or your force field, something that's had penetrated your force field, and that's why they give all these scientifical Star Trek, etc., because they tell you, if any time that anything is going to come against you, you have to put up a force field. And I appreciate you for the simple fact that you're trying to teach men and women how to go ahead and put up a force field so that everything that's exterior does not infiltrate that which is interior. And so you can know how to protect yourself. And so that way you don't go ahead and get caught up in that which is not relative or does not benefit you at all. And I've listened to you for quite a while. I'm a first-time caller, and this is the very first time that I've called. And I want to appreciate and tell you that I appreciate you and also your staff and everyone that puts this program together to let men and women know it's not about what is that's entertaining to you. You have to get it way beyond that. You have to go ahead and remember that the entities that are against you, they have planned this program that exists right now and way beyond. It's not going to affect you per se, and so you can go ahead and they can create certain situations where you can go ahead and get the nice car, the nice house, and the nice job or whatever the case may be. But the thing is, they know that the etymology of it is that we are targeting your children's, etc. And so I appreciate your program to teach men and women that are really listening, okay, and recognizing what's inside of themselves to activate that survival strand of DNA that has been missing in most men and women. It's a survival strand of DNA that when any time that that species is being attacked, it goes and it elevates to a higher level of consciousness and it's activated so that it can protect itself. And I appreciate you because that's what you're doing right now. You're teaching men and women how to activate that strand of DNA because remember now, most of what they say is junk DNA. Okay? One man's garbage is another man's riches. And so if you don't know what your garbage is, then you'll never know how they're benefiting off your riches. And so I appreciate you, very much so. And I hope that you never, ever, as a matter of fact, I'm going to meditate on that. I'm going to send you energy so that you will never lose your breath and you will never have what's called a last breath talking about what it is because it's going to be generated through your seeds. And they're going to know, and they're going to keep that switch has been turned on, and I appreciate you. That switch has been turned on where, irregardless to if you don't get the information out there to assimilate all these men and women out here to actually know what it is that's going on, your children are going to take it to another level. And that's how powerful you are. And so I just want to call in and congratulate you for what it is that you do because most men and women don't even know what the definition of courage is, yet alone try to be courageous. And so they think that what... Yes, sir.
So I thank you. They're beautiful words, man. I really respect you for saying those words, and I really feel you, man. I feel that energy you're bringing to me. So thank you very much. I really embrace it.
You're more than welcome. I don't say it to impress anyone. I don't, because the words that we use already, which is the English vocabulary, I understand. That means I'm underneath whatever it is that you're giving me explanation to what it is. Or if I impress you, that means that I've just put an impression on you. And so I would implore any man or woman to actually study the etymology of every word that they speak, so the words that they speak from this time on will be edification for their future generations after they've done their research and they know for a fact that at this point in time, I'm done with everything else. I have to go ahead and make sure that my future generation, based upon me being here right now, because keep this in mind, this is what a lot of men and women forget. There are over 15 to 16 million cells that try to penetrate in a woman one egg. And so you made it here for a purpose. The question is, are you living out your purpose? You're here for a reason. You're on this website for a reason. And so that means that there's a cohesion. And so that's something that drew you here. Now the question is, what are you going to do with that energy? Because it's not about words anymore. It's way beyond words because you're in the age of Aquarius right now. If you look at the zodiac, that means the pouring out of all information. That's why you have what's called the Internet. And so the question is, anything you want to know and anything you need to know or anything you want to pass on to your children, you can pass it on. But the thing is, you have to stop playing games as grown men and women. Leave all that lascivious behavior, all the issues that have happened with you in your childhood, with your daddy wasn't there, your mama didn't act this way. Stop. Own what it is that you need to own because you know for a fact at this point in time, if I keep on pointing the blame on all those men and women and whatnot that was in my past, those seeds that actually came forward before me that gave me the life that I have right now, those gods and those queens, then I'm going to keep on teaching that to my children. And you can't do that. So cut everything off. Cut it off.
Yeah.
Just cut it off. And move forward so that that generation that comes next cannot fall for anything whatsoever. They can't fall. Because the thing about it is, if you go ahead and study every religion, the only time you benefit in any religion is when you're on your knees and you're praying. And most men and women don't recognize that when you're on your knees and you're praying, it's not because of what you want, it's because of what you need. And so you're not P-R-A-Y-I-N-G-N, you're P-R-E-Y-I-N-G-N. And that means that you're very hungry, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, I totally agree with you when you talk about words and stuff like that, because words are a resonance, right? I believe that words are a technology. They bring out this energy. No matter what you say, and it's how you say it. It's the intent in your words. I believe I was saying earlier on about writing a song. If you write a sad song, you don't even have to hear that song. You can feel it. You can feel the pain. You can feel the anxiety in the words. You can
and the
feel
tones,
it.
and the tones in the song.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is that those that have transported from genre to genre, continent to continent, it wasn't that we could understand or understand the intellectual knowledge of the words. It was the tones that made us research those vocabularies that we not have within our own genre. And so that means that, okay, why and who taught us not to research that anymore? You know, and we have to remember that if you have children, if you know for a fact that you've been abused in your past, if you know for a fact that you have been manipulated, you can't blame anyone at this point in time after this conversation right here. And that's the thing right there. No man and woman at this point in the day, when I talk to them, they're not willing to own up that you have dropped the ball. Why have you dropped the ball? Because if your child comes home and your child asks you, what is this equation right here? And you're like, I never ever studied that right there. I don't know what you're talking about, so I can help you. So you get a tutor for your child. Okay, now you're already working hard. You're already sitting back stating that everybody and anyone is against you. And now you're going to pay for that male or that female, the same enemy, to teach your child, to teach you what your child is telling you, just so you can see something that would benefit you to make you feel good, because it has nothing to do with the child. All you have to do is study all you have to do is study the Peabody Institute, the first individuals that actually implemented the scholastic system, and you'll know that was built on a basis of what Hitler studied when he came from Africa. And so my thing is it's no more excuses. There's no more excuses. Everyone wants someone to sit back and say, okay, they hurt me. They hurt me. And they put their finger out there and they point and they say, they hurt me. But they have never took one step forward to actually figure out who it is that hurt them. And then I guarantee you, if you walk 2 steps towards that which has hurt you and identify what hurt them,
I think that's
going to benefit you.
That is what I was talking. Funny enough, I was talking about that to someone else. I believe that, you know, you get hurt by people, but no one actually ever accepts the fact that hurt is coming from something else apart from them. Because I said to you earlier before, love is what it is. Love is this beautiful world and beautiful people that are on it, and they're all connected. But when you get these negative energies coming in, that's a manifestation of the society we're in. That's not a creative manifestation, because that cannot be.
Mm-hmm. No,
right?
It never was. That was something something that Sigmund Freud, that was something that if you research, and most men and women, they need to research these so-called scholars. If you research a man named Sigmund Freud, where he came up with the ego. And so most men and women, they came up with this egotistical behavior. Prior to that, it didn't exist.
That's
and
right.
so you have to know that these so-called scholars, that they hold in high accolades. I mean, it makes no sense. Okay, you and I have never ever spoken before, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if I gave you a proposition and told you that based upon the money that you have saved to benefit your children, and you've told me everything that you want to do with this right here, and I gave you a dollar amount that within 2 days I can go ahead and quadruple that right there, you're going to investigate me, correct?
I would say, though, before we go on, money has no real significance in my life apart from I don't use that inference for that significance, because I know I'm the same way, because I've studied the Federal Reserve, et cetera. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about as far as those men and women that think that monetary or filthy lucre is what they need to benefit themselves. So what they do is they go out and they research that filthy lucre and how much they can get, and then all of a sudden you don't even know who your own child is in your home. And so what it is when you send your child to school, you send your child to be taught by the enemy. So then the enemy says, I don't even need to go ahead and be your enemy in the forefront. I can go ahead and train your child and send myself back to you. I know that already. Yeah, it's that is what it is. It's like an energetic exchange, isn't it, of fear and hate you put into your children, and then that comes back to you, whether you know it or not. So
exactly,
yeah,
and that's so dangerous, my brother. That is so dangerous. That's why I appreciate the conversation that you're giving me and allowing me the time that I'm speaking right now. And I don't want to take up too much time, but my thing is that it's time over for. Matter of fact, we're in the year what they call 2013. I guarantee you, every time you tell your child to go to class and go to school and learn history, I guarantee you, every point of history supersedes 20 and 13,000 years ago. The question is, why did we start counting 20 and 13,000 years ago?
Yeah.
It's time for grown men and grown women to start realizing that your children have been attacked, and they're still being attacked, so that they can go ahead and all through the media, the tell me a vision, they're targeting your children to bring the enemy home to you so that you can never sit back and focus on anything other than your child. And you have to step up, and you have to learn what it is that your children are being taught. You have to learn. If you don't, you're not a mother, you're not a father. I don't care all the things that they put on. I'm a deadbeat dad. I haven't seen my child in I don't know how many years or whatever the case may be. No, every mother that thinks that she's dealing with a deadbeat dad, every dad that thinks he's dealing with a deadbeat mother, or because she didn't listen to what I said, so I just moved away because I didn't want to put my hands on her, etc. That right there is not who you are. It's how the system has been created to make you respond to that which you do not know. And you have to research. You have to research.
I totally agree. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel for all this, though, because I believe, as I said earlier, that we are going and experiencing a change, and a lot of people are fighting it because it's like a grieving process for them. They've been in this system for so long. But
they're grieving too long, my brother. My brother.
It's not that they don't want to move out of it. It's that they can't comprehend anything else apart from
Exactly.
You know,
they're grieving too long. I mean, when you bury a body in the grave, you don't sit back and go to that grave and have the same emotions. When you go to the graveyard, what you do is you experience something to connect you with. Hello?
Hi. Yeah.
Okay. What you do is when you go to the graveyard, you experience something or different situations, but you don't concentrate on he's dead or she's dead.
No.
You move on.
No. You do. And I believe that there is we are going through that grieving process now. I believe a lot of people are. This is our transitional period. I believe this is like we're reaching the moment of like 0 point. 0 point being where we start creating again. We start over again. I believe that this is actually happening right now.
I agree.
And
I agree.
With all of this going on around the world, it's not happening by coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, and these things have always been planned.
So not to interrupt you, but what is the definition of something happening? It's predicated on happenstance, meaning that something had to trigger something in order for me to give a response.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And most men and women don't realize that they're supposed to be responding right now, and they're sitting back and they're idle. Because why? Because religion, etc., or their job, or whatever the case may be, it just preoccupies their time, and they get so discombobulated with so many issues that they can't focus. And that's what you have to do. You have to focus and realize these are not the end times, as they say in every single book that I research. This is not the end time. This is the beginning of a new change of era to go ahead and elevate those that know, not believe, those that know how to go ahead and make sure that those that come behind them are very secure.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you really loud and clear. I really believe that myself. I believe that this is, we talk about the age of revealing, right? This 2012 is knowledge, it's wisdom. You know, we're 2013. Sorry, is it's the age of revealing. We're going to be revealed things to us in this next decade, and I believe that we are now starting to connect to that. And once we do connect,
we are. You and I, we're connecting to that right there. But the thing is that most men and women haven't done their research to realize that this is the year 2013. But then again, when you look at all these different documents and all these biblical procedures, hello.
Hi, I'm still here.
Okay, when you look at all these different Bibles and Qurans and everything that's put out there, I guarantee you they're dated at the same time. They're between 4,000 and 5,000 years old. So do the research, and they should do the research to realize that if we're in the year 2013, then how could we be in the year 2013 when every single document, every book that we read that builds us and uplifts us on a spiritual level is between 4,000 and 5,000, if not 6,000 years ago. So what happened to make us go ahead and come into the year of the Gregorian calendar of 2013? That's impossible. I could never fall for that.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, isn't it? This is something I think would be very interesting if we could actually just because it goes back to your birthright. They say, oh, when you're born, that's when you're alive. But there are people out there in tribal villages that say the day that baby is conceived, as in to say the day the girl or the woman falls pregnant, that's when the life starts. So we've been living in manipulative time. We've been living in this dream world for so long.
Okay. Let's stop right there. Because I know where you're going, my brother. And so the thing is, who are the ones that will actually manipulate time, not only conversation, history, etc., but who would manipulate time to let me know that I can never, ever figure out when I'm in place on a certain area of this ship called Earth, that I would ever figure out anything that would edify me and benefit me so I can step forward. And when I say I can take one step forward, I can know for a fact that I'm only taking one step forward because that step benefits me. But every step that's taken forward is not benefiting those that do not know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also a great believer right now in this moment that every step we take has a ripple effect to everything else. I mean, all of our decisions, even our words, even our thoughts. And I believe that if we start just connecting again and just go to your next door neighbour and just walk up to him and give him a hug, and he'll go, "What are you doing?" He'll stand back, he'll push you away. But what you're trying to say to him is, look, it's okay. It's okay. Things are okay. There's nothing to worry about. And the only worry that people have...
go ahead and break it down into a lower denominator, but it's the highest denominator. Even if you sit back and you say, well, she's not treating her kids right. Oh, he's a no-good man. Okay, then teach him and tell him how to be a good man towards that which is meaning so much to you. And that's why the definition of love is, it has nothing to do, it never did have, when you research the etymology of the word love, it had nothing to do with emotional. It had nothing to do with emotional. It had to do with know the strengths and the weakness of the man or the female, and then you implement yourself, whether there's two, and then you're three, and then you let that be established that this is what is love. And that means that I see you for your strengths or your weaknesses. I know for a fact that when I see success, I'm trying to teach you what success is, but I'm going to let you know that you have the right to actually go ahead and tell me that I don't want that right there based upon your mannerisms and based upon your conversation, or you can accept it and we can go ahead and let you know that it takes a village to go ahead and do what it is that we're doing, so we have to be on one accord. And that's why the Bible says that you have to be on one accord in order to go ahead and let a thing be established. But for some reason, they dropped the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's all for some reasons. Well, I don't think we're ever going to be privy to that reason itself. But all I know is that reacquainting yourself with yourself and reacquainting yourself with your brothers and sisters on this planet will only bring forth the change that we're looking for. I mean, we can all live in our own little lives, our own little bubbles, and our own little sheds in this world. But if you just walk out into that big wide world and just see it for what it is and experience its beauty and experience its love, because that's what it's got. It's giving you that. You just got to reconnect to that. And this
What's
is why.
Your name, bro?
My name's Robert.
What's your name?
Robert.
Okay, Robert. Robert, you know what I teach most men and women? I said, before you can say that you're American, have you ever researched the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, et cetera, et cetera? And most men and women, they tell me, they say, I've done that already, and I'm a proud American. And you know what I'm saying? They ride the Harley Davidsons. They go ahead and go into all these little cliques or whatever the case may be. And I let them know. I say, well, do you pay taxes? Oh, of course. That's the American way.
Yeah.
Paying taxes is the American way. If you don't pay taxes, then, you know, the IRS comes after you. I said, well, have you ever studied what's called this little documentation? Even though it's smaller, it's so minute, according to the IRS tax laws. It's a very small document. Have you ever researched that document that this planted individual that came over here that was broke down, was dealing with tyranny over in Europe, and they broke away to create these documents? Have you ever researched the Constitution of the United States of America? And then, you know what they did? Back then, they even made it even better for us. Every single state has a constitution, and they stipulate in the United States Constitution that if anything that is in that state is different from the original Constitution, that means that it's voided. It has no power. I'm like, have you ever researched the Constitution of the state that you're in?
Yeah.
Arizona, Utah, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Research the Constitution. Every state has their own Constitution, but if they differ from the Constitution of the United States of America, and that's a start. That's not the whole body of everything and anything that would help the children out. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? The older heads have to go ahead and pick up and say, well, okay, he said something I never knew before.
Yeah.
This is new information. I never knew that every state had a Constitution. I thought the Constitution of,
Yeah. Well, it's been a beautiful conversation, brother, and I really, really, I really feel you. This energy's been great between us, and I've got 10 seconds. So I'm just gonna say, well, thank you very much for everyone listening, and I'll catch you next week sometime, I think. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're more than welcome. It was my pleasure to actually be able to converse with you at this point in time. And also for your listeners, do research and research the constitutions that exist in your state. And I guarantee you, if they differ from the Constitution of the United States of America, hey, it's called redress. And that's how you get your money, and that's how you get your children taken care of. Yeah. My brother.
I really appreciate you, brother, and I've loved this connection. It's been such a great conversation, and I really respect the love you sent me, man, in your words. I really feel your passion, and I hope we can do this again, because it's been a really, really exciting time.
Let's make it happen, bro. Let's make it happen.
No worries, bro. No worries.
Okay.
And you keep yourself safe, and my love goes out to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
No worries, man. Thank you very much.